Okay, this was a really difficult watch. Bears versus 49ers this past Sunday in Santa Clara. And I think my conclusion was they were out schemed, they were out coached, they were outworked, they were out executed. It was really a mauling at the hands of the 49ers. And a lot of people asked me, they say, hey, Tom, what went wrong? And I said, well, a lot. It's probably best that I put together a group of plays to show you what went wrong versus tell you what went wrong. I was at least really surprised as well that they did not come out with a more concerted effort and they didn't play well. They were not, did not pay attention to details. I didn't think it was the most effort-driven performance I've seen. There were just a lot of mistakes. So I put together a group of 6 or 7 plays. When somebody says, hey, what went wrong in Santa Clara? I'll say, just look at the tape, okay? And again, call me a hater if you want. I'm not being a hater, but as we all say, the film doesn't lie. And I think earlier in the year, a lot of these players were begging to be coached harder and held accountable. So maybe I'm not their coach and maybe not the guy to hold everyone accountable. But guess what holds you accountable more than anything in the world as a professional athlete? The film. All right, we'll go to the first drive. The San Francisco 49ers drove the ball right down the field, right down the throat of the Chicago Bears. It was a demoralizing drive. And at the end, the touchdown pass to Juwan Jennings, in my humble opinion, was an assignment mistake by Tyreek Stevenson. Now, disclaimer, full disclaimer, I'm making some assumptions when I come to certain conclusions. I did play ball for a long time, so I think that these are conclusions I come to with a little bit of experience, but I don't know exactly what defenders or offensive players are being asked to do, but I think in a lot of ways we can come to the same conclusion. So we go to the touchdown pass from Brock Purdy to Juwan Jennings. This is the first drive of the game, a really demoralizing drive. They're at about their 7-yard line. And as we watch the play develop again, you'll see Kyle Shanahan does use a ton of motion. You see here that with the motion, Deebo Samuel comes here, goes back out. What he's trying to do, as I always tell you, is he's trying to define coverage, man or zone. And I think what you can come to the conclusion that is a zone. When the tight end here sits, now, he may delay. He may try to punch the outside rusher and then delay into the flat. So Tyreek Stevenson is the key here. Now, he's got to decide what the intention of this tight end right here is. If he punches the outside rush guy and then leaks to the flat, Tyreek Stevenson is responsible for that play. As you watch the film unfold, you'll see that the tight end never disengages. And so if that's the case, all the while, he's got a feather back here, and this area is his responsibility. Safety in the middle of the field right here as well. He's going to help out over the top. But Juwan Jennings coming this way, that is the responsibility of Tyreek Stevenson. And as you'll watch the play unfold, Tyreek Stevenson just hangs at the line of scrimmage way too long. Watch the play develop. Like right here, if I'm Brock Purdy makes the decision to throw it to Juwan Jennings right here. If he wanted to, he could throw it to this guy too. So either way, this is a miscommunication. This is a defensive breakdown. But as you see the end of the play, that's Juwan Jennings. I will roll it back, and you can watch it real time, and you tell me what Tyreek Stevenson is doing. Right here, he's beat. At this particular time, he's beat. And this is an easy pitch and catch for Brock Purdy. Boo, right there for a touchdown. And you'll see that is not the way to get started as you're trying to kind of regain some of your pride after losing 6 straight. Let's go to the first offensive series. Okay, so the 49ers score on their first drive. They kick the ball off. This is the second play of the first series. Okay? It's second down and long. There is a cardinal rule in offensive football. I mean, listen to me, I'm a wide receiver. I wasn't in the trenches getting down and dirty. But you never let an opponent or anybody with a different colored jersey to ever cross your face without making contact, okay? It's simple. Even if I've got the guy way over there, if for some reason somebody is crossing that's my guy. So with that as the backdrop or kind of the foundation of this, I want to show you, again, this is the first drive. This is an opportunity to try to get some momentum going. Last thing we can have is a mental mistake or even a physical mistake because we got to get this drive going. Second down, okay? There's going to be a run play. This is Rome Odunze coming over here, and you'll see the defense kind of shifts. We'll watch this play unfold, okay? So this guy here was initially in here. It's a linebacker, but he bumps outside the cornerback, all right? That shouldn't matter. So now Rome has got this guy, and instead of the linebacker being Cole Kmet's responsibility, that guy becomes Cole's responsibility. Again, never let a player on the other side with a different colored jersey cross your face without making contact. And Cole's got a huge size advantage. Watch what happens. He runs right by him. Like, let's go back a little bit and let's do that again. And again, is it a little bit confusing? Because at this point, my guess is Cole's going to chip here, and then what he's going to do is release up here, and he's going to block one of these linebackers, okay? Well, what happens? They bounce the linebacker out. So instead of having the linebacker, now Rome Odunze is going to have the linebacker, and again, Cole's going to have number 7. Like, I don't know what the responsibility is and what each guy's being told to do. I can't imagine that an NFL head coach or offensive coordinator is going to tell you that if a player crosses your face, just let him go and go to the guy you were originally signed to block. And what ends up happening? DeAndre Swift is tackled basically for a short loss. So instead of having a nice, well-blocked play, we now have 3rd and long, and we all know what happened. They didn't convert the 3rd down, and they ultimately had to punt. So again, your first defensive opportunity, you make a mental mistake, and they're able to score 6. The first opportunity for you to try to answer that call, you're making mental mistakes and physical mistakes on that first drive. Simple things as well. There's 2 mistakes I showed you. I'll show you another one, and this is DJ Moore. DJ Moore is your number 1 wide receiver. This is just a little hitch route. You've got an off coverage, whether it's man or it's zone, whatever it is, you've got plenty of room. This is 3 steps, boom, throw it here. Perfectly delivered, the ball's dropped. Now again, as we're trying to make progress, the boogeymen are out of the building. No Shane Waldron. There's no Matt Eberflus. The players have asked for this. So now it's time for the players, especially your better players, to step up and make plays. And this is a play that I'm sure DJ would tell you that he has to make. This is just a simple 6-yard hitch route. And what it does, and you can see it from behind as well, it just puts you behind the chains. Caleb, responds quickly. He reads the play. It's 1, 2, 3. Send it out. Ball's right off his chest. And again, it's another mistake that we just can't have. Let's go to a couple of sacks here. This is a play where Caleb actually has to help himself, okay? A lot of times, sacks are the responsibility or the result of a quarterback not getting the ball out quick, or sacks can actually be the result of an offensive lineman blowing a mistake or a fullback or whoever's got pass protection. But here's an example of a young quarterback. And Caleb's done a really nice job of getting the ball away quick and having good feel in the pocket. This is an example of not having that feel. You'll see the rush comes from behind. Now, at this particular moment, again, this defender has beaten Braxton Jones to the outside, but there's an opportunity to either throw this ball to Cole Kmet here or to throw this ball to DJ Moore, maybe shuffle up a couple more steps and deliver the football. It's 3rd and medium at this particular time. If you can get that ball to DJ, my guess is he'll turn it up and he'll get a first down. But watch what Caleb does. He just holds the ball for that little extra tick, and eventually he gets sacked. Now you see here's the state. That's the first down marker. This is where DJ is. If the ball comes out, he probably catches it and goes up. I think we'll show this from behind as well. And you can see Caleb's done a really nice job recently feeling where the pressure is coming from. But at this time, okay, he stepped sideways to create some space. You see, now this is a little confusing to me. This 2 guys in the same spot. That's not ideal. But Caleb has been sharp enough and smart enough to know that he needs to take a little step up here to get rid of the ball. You see, that extra hitch kills him. That turns a 3rd down conversion into a punt. DJ settles the route, and it's a sack. So again, sometimes you're going to have quarterback sacks that are a result of a breakdown on the offensive line. Sometimes it's going to be a mistake made by the quarterback. I'll show you another sack where this one is actually an assignment blown by your offensive line. Actually, that's not the right one. I'll show you. This is the first. This is what we wanted to show you. Okay, keep an eye on this setup right here. This is Darnell Wright. This is Matt Pryor right here. Now, listen, I am no offensive line expert, but I talked to Tom Thayer and some others about, just what guys are supposed to do. And the first thing I would think you would want to do is get your hands out and just pop whoever's in front of you to slow you down, slow the opponent down. And then if you've got a stunt coming at you, you just got to be sound. But your technique's got to be good as well. So what I want you to see is I want you to see right tackle Darnell Wright, watch his technique and the lack of technique, and watch Matt Pryor as well. It looks like they're a little confused. Now, where's the pop? There's no pop right here. Like at the very least, both of these guys should be popping one of these defenders or each of the defenders to try to slow them down a little bit. At this point, Darnell Wright is beat. That's just, I don't, maybe he tripped on Matt Pryor's leg. I don't know what's going on here. But at the end of the day, that is unacceptable pass protection from your offensive line. Look at it again. Again, I am no offensive line guru. You watch it and you tell me that this is solid play. I will tell you that that is a disaster for a young quarterback. There's another one to show you also, because he was sacked, I believe, 7 times. And I've showed you an instance of where Caleb was at fault. That's an instance where I believe the offensive line was an issue. And here's another example. This is just a pure, your center gets beat, and it ruins a play. And this is what happens when you don't have a good base. Again, I'm no offensive line expert, but that is kill quarterback mode. It's probably better to look from behind. But Coleman Shelton, just watch it develop. It's going to come from here. And a little bit of swipe the hands away, swim move, plays dead. Now, there's just too many of these. Caleb's been sacked 56 times. He's on pace to be sacked 73 times. Like, that is not what you want to expose your rookie quarterback to. And again, some of these sacks are Caleb's fault. A lot of them are on the offensive line. Either way, this has got to be cleaned up. Let's go to some defensive issues. I showed you first series of the game where it looked like Tyreek Stevenson just blew an assignment. Ultimately, it resulted in a touchdown. Let's go to a little bit later in the game. We'll go to this situation. Now, listen, what the 49ers do really well is they run the football. They use play action pass. You got to be aware of that. So you got to be your head's got to be on a swivel. There were so many instances in this game of guys that were running wide open, and there were so many seams and gaps that I don't know if it was players blowing assignments, or you had the wrong defensive call, or you just got out-schemed by Kyle Shanahan, one of the best in the business these days. But this is just a play-action pass. You'll see Purdy, little fake right here, okay? Tremaine Edmonds bites, settles a little bit too long, and watch the hole that George Kittle finds. Like, at that point, again, Purdy knows what he's got. You got to clear out here. You got a little flat route to occupy him, and look at this space. Now, my assumption is that Tremaine Edmonds is responsible for this void, but he got sucked in on the play-action pass. Now, watch this. Now, again, I have no GD idea what the defensive play call was, but in the National Football League, like, that play's going all the way down to the 5-yard line. Again, let's look at this thing in real time and just watch how it develops, and just watch a split second. Tremaine Edmonds steps up, and they got him, and watch the void here. That happened on more than one occasion. So when you ask me what transpired, I could give you 100 explanations for why the 49ers were better than the Bears on so many different fronts. Let's look at another play here. This is another example. I don't know what the defensive call is, but ultimately you got too many guys in the same spot, and there's another void that is going to open up. Again, what you're going to have is you're going to have a clear out route here. I believe you're going to have a sail route over here. You're in cover 2, so I believe this is Jalen Johnson right here settling, and Kyler Gordon is right here. I don't know what his responsibility is, but as this play develops, watch as he creeps closer and closer to Jalen Johnson. Now look at that void. Like, you got to clear out here. Look at this spot that's about to open up. And why in the world would Jalen and Kyler Gordon, I love Kyler Gordon. I think he's one of their best players on the entire team. Why would they be covering basic? Look at that. They're on top of each other. And once again, you got to throw in like, listen, if you're Brock Purdy, I can take George Kittle here. Maybe I want to throw it to Juszczyk right here. Or if, you know what, just for what's and giggles, I'll throw it to Debo here. You tell me, is there anybody covered here? How in the world could this be a sound defense for what the 49ers are doing? And as you see, that play is just another monster play. We'll go back again and show it to you from the very beginning. And I just don't know why. Is it a communication issue? Is it players blowing assignments? I don't know 100% what it is, but it just doesn't look right. And this isn't how you function as a good football team in the National Football League. Again, watch. I don't know why Kyler is going out here. You're going to find a void right here that is just enormous. Like, there are so many guys open. It's absolutely crazy, and I don't know why. Final play. I think this is a good way to put an exclamation point on this conversation. This is the second touchdown run of Isaac Guerendo, who is their fourth string running back. Good football player, and inside Kyle Shanahan's offense actually really had a nice game, both running the football and being a receiver. This is the first play of the fourth quarter. The Bears are down 24-6, okay? I love Jalen Johnson as a player. Fantastic player. Has been very vocal about how they haven't been held accountable and things haven't gone well. So I figured Jalen would come out and have a really good game. I want him on my team, don't get me wrong. Was the highest rated cornerback in the National Football League last year. But when your coach comes out early in the week, Thomas Brown says, we play this game violently. And those that play it violently will have the most success, and this is how we're going to approach it. You tell me if this is a violent approach. Now, again, you may watch this play and say, well, Waddle, even if Jalen does try to tackle Guerendo, he's going to carry him into the end zone. But I'll say this too. That may be true. But what if Jalen comes in like a missile and knocks that ball out, and the ball's fumbled at the 1 yard line, and you recover the football? It's 24-6. It's an 18-point lead. They've dominated you throughout the course of the game, but we've seen this Bears team come back from pretty large deficits with not a lot of time left. So watch the play. Okay. Now, Guerendo looks like he's got a path to the end zone. This is Jalen. Again, you could tell me if Jalen actually tries to tackle him, Guerendo's going to get in the end zone. But again, I would suggest to you, what if Jalen hits him and hits the football and the ball comes flying? Now, look, as I said, I'm not a hater, but as they say, the film don't lie. You can see it from behind. Before I show you from behind, let's watch it again in real time. Well, here you will see it from behind right here. You tell me. I mean, like, you can say to me, well, he was already coming into the end zone, so if that's how you feel about it, let's go back. Let's go back to the play in real time, or as it's being snapped. Right there. Now, again, if you're trying to reestablish your football team or your approach, or you're trying to regain some credibility as a team, and you're trying to make sure that when you made the coaching change, we're all going to come together here, we're going to give a different, more concerted effort, I would just ask you if that's what's going to get you out of this rut and get you back on track. And my answer to my own question would be probably not, again. So, look, I'm not trying to be somebody that's a hater. I think a lot of these players are really good players. Jalen Johnson's a fantastic player. Cole Kmet's a good player. DJ Moore's a good player. Montez Sweat is a good player. There's a lot of good players on this team that I just don't think have played as well this year as they've played in recent years. And while the coaches have been a problem, and I've said this quite a bit on the radio show, and they needed to be held accountable, I think in a lot of ways the players have been given a pass over the last several weeks. So when people ask me, hey, Tom, what happened to the Bears against the 49ers? Again, instead of describing all this stuff, I figured I'd just put it on film and you make the call.